Hello. Sorry, I have some technical issues with my publication. I hope I am audible. And I was just telling you about this is the AI Breach Report Weekly podcast. Your complete summary of what was covered in last week's Wednesday and Friday editions of the AI Breach Report. If you read those issues on LinkedIn, you already have the detail. This video brings both editions together in one place so you and your leadership team can hear the full picture, what happened, and what it means for your business, and what the right defensive response looks like. So without any, let's go into what last week's two editions covered. The most concentrated wave of high impact incidents we have seen in a single week this year. A global pharmaceutical manufacturer was taken offline. A major educational technology platform paid a ransom that cannot be verified as resolved. Iran ran a state-sponsored false flag operation designed to look like ransomware but built for espionage. A credential theft framework is actively harvesting cloud and developer credentials at industrial scale. And the Q1 2026 ransomware numbers confirm that this is the second most dangerous opening quarter on record. Friday's Defense Edition, last week on Friday, May 15th, then addressed the structural question that all of that intelligence raises. What does a proportionate practical response actually look like for a medium enterprise in 2026? Let us go through it. Wednesday edition. The Wednesday edition opened with West Pharmaceutical Services. West Pharmaceutical Services is a global pharmaceutical manufacturer. Last week, attackers exfiltrated data from their systems and then deployed file encrypting ransomware across their global infrastructure. The company took systems offline entirely, not in one region, but globally, and retained Palo Alto Networks Unit 42 team for containment and investigation. Law enforcement was notified. Core enterprise systems have been partially restored, and some manufacturing and shipping operations have restarted, but a full restoration timeline has not been confirmed. The company's public statement included language about taking steps to mitigate the dissemination of exfiltrated data. In the language of incident response, that phrase carries a specific meaning. Negotiation with the threat actor has taken place or is underway. The responsible group has not been publicly named. For medium enterprises, the West incident is not simply a story about a large corporation being attacked. It is a demonstration of what ransomware does to operational continuity in 2026. Systems go offline globally, manufacturing stops, shipping stops, receiving stops, and the company that builds products critical to pharmaceutical supply chains becomes temporarily an organization that cannot do its primary job. That operational disruption, not the ransom payment, not the data theft, is the existential risk for a medium enterprise. A company with 50 to 200 employees does not have the resources to survive weeks of operational shutdown. The second major incident in Wednesday's edition was the resolution of the Canvas crisis, and why that resolution should concern every business leader more than the breach itself. In structure, the company behind Canvas confirmed it had reached an agreement with Shiny Hunters. The company stated that the 275 million stolen records had been destroyed. Canvas was brought back online. Three facts sit alongside that announcement. First, Shiny Hunters breached in structure 3 separate times in 8 months. The agreement resolves the May 2026 breach. It does not undo September 2025 or the May 1st production run. Second, the language of an agreement strongly implies a payment was made. Instructure has not confirmed or denied this. Third, there is no technical mechanism in existence that allows a third party to verify that stolen data has been permanently destroyed. Criminal groups do not delete leverage. Data that has been exfiltrated has been copied, distributed across infrastructure, and archived. A promise to destroy is not the same thing as its destruction. The only one conclusion a business leader should draw from this outcome is that organizations that demonstrate a willingness to pay confirm to the criminal community that they will pay again. The next Shiny Hunters campaign against Instructure, if it occurs, will open with a higher ransom demand, not a lower one. The third major incident in Wednesday's edition is the one that received the least mainstream attention, and it is the one that matters most for organizations in financial services, professional services, and healthcare. Iran's state-sponsored group known as Muddy Water conducted a false flag operation last week. The campaign was designed to look like a ransomware attack. Files were encrypted, ransom notes displayed, the operational signature matched a known criminal ransomware group. But when investigators reached the command and control infrastructure and analyzed the tooling, the objective was not financial, it was espionage. The encryption was a distraction. The actual payload was designed to remain in place, silently harvesting intelligence after the apparent ransomware event had been investigated and closed. The business implication is significant and specific. An organization that believes it has responded to and recovered from a ransomware incident may in fact still be compromised. The ransomware cleanup becomes the cover for the persistent access. If your organization has experienced any ransomware event in the past 12 months, even one that appeared to be fully resolved, the Muddy Water false flag methodology is a reason to conduct a fresh forensic review of your environment. Wednesday's edition closed with the Q1 2026 ransomware data. 2,122 confirmed victims in the first quarter of 2026. That is the second highest Q1 total on record. The data reveals a structural shift in how the ransomware ecosystem operates. The number of active groups has decreased, but the remaining groups are larger, better resourced, and more capable. Power has concentrated. Shiny Hunters alone accounts for a disproportionate share of confirmed incidents. Fewer groups means fewer opportunities to attribute and disrupt operations before they reach your sector. The AI dimension in Wednesday's edition threaded through every incident. Artificial intelligence is compressing attacker timelines faster than most organizations are compressing their patch and response cycles. The window between a vulnerability being disclosed and an active attack is now measured in hours. The window between a criminal group deciding to target a sector and executing that campaign is now measured in days, not months. Friday's edition took the intelligence from Wednesday and asked the structural question: what does an organization with 52 to 200 employees actually do about it? The answer Friday's edition built was grounded in three developments. The first was Microsoft's announcement of M-, the Microsoft Defensive AI Security Hub. M- is a platform that uses artificial intelligence to detect and prioritize vulnerabilities across an organization's environment before attackers find them. In the wake of its announcement, the system identified 4 critical remote code execution vulnerabilities in widely used enterprise software. All 4 were patched in Microsoft's May 12th Patch Tuesday cycle. None of the 4 had been publicly known before. M- flagged them. The significance of M- for medium enterprises is twofold. First, it demonstrates that defensive artificial intelligence when governed properly, can operate faster than offensive artificial intelligence, closing vulnerabilities before they can be weaponized. Second, it established the standard that medium enterprises should now apply to their own security tooling. Does your current setup identify unknown vulnerabilities in your environment, or does it only respond to known ones? If the answer is the latter, you are operating on a timeline that attackers have already outpaced. The second development was OpenAI's launch of Daybreak, a platform designed specifically to help organizations manage and govern their AI deployments. Daybreak addresses the governance gap that Friday's edition quantified with data from the RSA conference. With data from the RSA conference, 2026, 85% of organizations are now deploying artificial intelligence in operational contexts, but only 5% have governance frameworks that match the scale of that deployment. The RSA data contain two findings that every business leader in this audience needs to hear directly. 43% of organizations using AI tools are doing so through shared service accounts, meaning multiple employees access the same AI system using the same credentials with no audit trail, connecting an action to an individual. In the event of a breach or a compliance investigation, you cannot determine who did what, when, and why. And the average time an attacker now spends inside a compromised environment before being detected, what security professionals call dwell time, has fallen to 22 seconds. Not 22 days, not 22 hours, 22 seconds. That figure reflects automated attack chains that move from initial access to data filtration on faster than a human analyst can open alert dashboard. The governance response to both of these findings is the same. Individual accounts for every user of every AI system with audit logging enabled and automatic detection that operates at machine speed. The third area Friday's edition covered was the OAuth access audit. This is a specific remediation that the April 2026 Vercel breach made mandatory for any organization using cloud-hosted AI tools. The Vercel breach covered in a previous edition was executed through a single OAuth permission granted to a third-party AI tool connected to an employee's Google Workspace account. That one permission gave the attacker access to internal Vercel environments. The stolen data was listed for sale at $2 million. OAuth permissions are the mechanisms by which every AI tool your employees have ever connected to your cloud environment retains ongoing access to that environment. When an employee connects a new AI productivity tool to their Google Workspace or Microsoft 365 account, they grant that tool a permission. That permission does not expire when the employee stops using the tool. It does not expire when the employee leaves the organization. It persists until someone explicitly revokes it. Friday's edition provided the direct instruction for conducting this audit. Open your Google Workspace admin console, navigate to security, then API controls, then manage third-party app access. Every application listed there has an active OAuth permission against your environment. Anything you do not recognize, cannot explain, or cannot confirm is still in active, legitimate use, should be revoked immediately. For Microsoft 365 environments, the equivalent path is through the Azure Active Directory portal under Enterprise Applications. This is not a one-time exercise, it is a recurring review because your employees are connecting new tools continuously and attackers are monitoring those connections for the same entry point that provided the Vercel breach. When you hold Wednesday and when you hold Wednesday and Friday together, the picture they form is specific. Wednesday showed you the cost of operating without structural controls, ransomware that shuts down global manufacturing, ransom payments that verify your willingness to pay again, state-sponsored espionage disguised as criminal ransomware, and a credential theft ecosystem operating at industrial scale. Friday showed you that controls exist, that they are accessible, and that the organizations deploying them with proper governance are closing vulnerabilities before attackers find them. The gap between these two positions, between Wednesday's victims and Friday's defended organizations, is not a technology gap. It is a governance gap. It is the difference between an organization that knows what AI tools its staff are using and what auth permissions those tools hold, and who is accounting for all, and who is accountable for reviewing them, and an organization that does not. In 2026, that governance gap is the attack surface. That's your AI breach report. Wednesday, when AI breach report weekly podcast for the week of Wednesday, 14th May, and for the week of Wednesday, 13th of May, and Friday, 15th May 2026. Both full editions are available on my LinkedIn. The Wednesday Incidents edition runs to over 5,000 words. The Friday Defense edition covers the full practical framework in detail. If you read one this week, read the Friday edition and send the auth audit section to whoever manages your cloud environment. If this summary has been useful, subscribe to the AI Breach Report on LinkedIn at the moment. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at Frederick Wakuliaka 4561 and like. So I'm Frederick Wakuliaka from Frederick Cybersecurity. Protect your business. Thank you. Oh dear. Where's YouTube? YouTube now. Mm, 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 mm.